You know that meme that's like, that's my opinion? That's how I feel for a majority of this video. Hey everyone, how you doing? If you are new here, I'm Nicole Concilio and welcome to the video, y'all. I am so excited for today's video because we are going to be doing, for the first time ever on my channel, a full face of makeup dupes. We got some of the most hottest dupes out there. These are all going to be hugely affordable items. Majority of these items are drugstores, so I'm very excited. I'm gonna just keep this intro nice and short and let's get right on into doing our makeup. So the first thing I'm gonna be talking to you guys about, and you know if you're following me for a while that this is one of my favorite dupes. I believe, in my personal opinion, you know that meme that's like, that's my opinion? That's how I feel for a majority of this video. This is the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and I really do believe that this is such an amazing dupe for the Glossier Boy Brow. So what I do first is kind of go through my brows and just get a little motion starting. And I usually start in the areas where it's the most sparse, so that's always gonna be around the tail for me. And it's really pigmented and has some fibers in it as well. So this is what my brows look like just with the Wow Brow in them. And honestly, you could leave them like this if you wanted to, but I always like to kind of go for the laminated look, especially since I have curly eyebrows. And you guys know I used to use the Glossier Brow Flick all the time. That was my go-to, but we have a little doopy dupe. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I use it in the shade Espresso. It is so good for making little hair-like strokes, especially if you lack it in the beginning of your brows. And to seal all of this off, you guys, what I like to do here is go in with a brow gel. And I know the Soap Brow has been a trend and the ABH Brow Freeze has been a trend. In my humble opinion, I think both of those products are really overpriced. And I would have to say the NYX Brow Glue, oh, it's so good. I've been using it now for over a month, and I think it does an amazing job. I mainly like to use it in the front part of my brows to make my brow hairs really stand up. So you can kind of see here how the hairs are standing up way more compared to this. This, it kind of has a little swoop ski potato. For primer, and again, you guys know I've been saying this a lot, but the e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer is 3000% a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip, and I honestly think it's even better than the Milk Hydro Grip because the Milk Hydro Grip has actually broke me out before. You know, Milk Makeup, I love their products, but I never know how my skin is gonna react to them. Now that our primer is just chilling out and looking good, you guys all know that this year is the year of tinted moisturizers, serum foundations, and honestly, less is more, I feel with makeup this year, and I'm vibing with it. I'm digging it. I really enjoy it. I have found a dupe, in my opinion, for the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop. So I would say this L'Oreal Visible Lift Serum Foundation is definitely a dupe for it. It's got a similar kind of finish, in my opinion. This one with the Fenty is a little bit more liquidy. This one is a little bit more just kind of stays in place. The shade I'm gonna be using today is 146. This also has SPF 17 in it. The Eavesdrop doesn't have any, so keep that in mind. So I'm just gonna pump out a few little pumps, and I always like to kind of put it around on the face first in little dots. That's kind of always been my go-to, just to make sure everything is evenly distributed. I'm gonna go in with a Laura Lee Los Angeles brush, and I'm just gonna start buffing this out. When it comes to using skin tints and things like that, I tend to use my brushes just because a blender or a beauty blender of any sort kind of absorbs the product, and we want this to really kind of show off the natural finish and get a little bit more coverage. You also want to make sure you get your ears and your neck. Whatever I'm doing to my face, I always make sure I'm doing to my neck as well. And of course you can layer it, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more coverage in some areas. And I have like a random scratch on my nose that haven't been able to get rid of now for a while. I don't know why. So if you guys follow me on TikTok, then you already know I do this series where I roast old makeup products that I used to love, or used to be overhyped, over whatever. And it's a really fun series that I do. I'm actually thinking about bringing it to YouTube, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have a little dupe for the Shape Tape concealer. I personally am not the biggest fan of Shape Tape just because I have very dry skin and the original Shape Tape does kind of dry extremely matte. So my dupe for a nice full coverage concealer similar to Shape Tape is definitely going to be the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I feel like so many of you guys already love and know about this concealer, and I love it. It's definitely been a staple of mine for a while, but I haven't used it in a minute, so I'm excited to kind of pick it back up again right now. I know a lot of people hate on the applicator, but I really don't mind it. This is so nostalgic right now. Little ASMR vibes. So I'm just gonna apply it, and you guys know like I've been applying way less concealer, so I like to apply concealer here as well, the inner corners, and also kind of like the bridge of my nose. Because I have lip filler, well, I got it dissolved, but I always feel like sometimes, since you guys know my lip filler dissolved and it kind of shifted, I always feel like I get a little bit of a dark cast above my lips, so kind of just do a little bit of that. And this is where I leave it at. I'm not going to add any concealer to the outer corners or anything like that, just because I feel like less is more. Look at that coverage. It's really nice. And it's blending really nice with the L'Oreal foundation as well. Now let's move on to setting powder. You guys know I've been using the Laura Mercier a lot. I have a great dupe, and I feel like this dupe is slept on a little bit. I've mentioned it before, but the ColourPop No Filter setting powder is genuinely the biggest dupe for an affordable powder that I've ever found that's comparable to Laura Mercier. Oh, and I'm really excited, you guys, to announce I have my discount code back with ColourPop. It's NICOL at the checkout. I do receive a slight commission when you use my code, so thank you so much in advance. This is what it looks like inside, and they do definitely have different colors, but I'm using the translucent one. So we're gonna go on in with my Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the L12 brush, and I'm just gonna set like under the eyes for right now. And I'm just tapping it in, getting the eyeball as well, or the eyelid rather, not the ball. That would suck. Imagine, I hate getting powder in my eye. It's happened so many times. And I'm just blending out any creasing before we go on in. So now that our eyes are pretty set, I'm gonna take this same powder and just kind of set the entire face, just very lightly. One of my favorite bronzer dupes is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And you guys know I'm absolutely obsessed with my Fenty Beauty Private Island bronzer, but this is really the only bronzer I'll ever use kind of in replace of it. It's really good. We're using the shade Bronzer, and I'm gonna go in with my bronzer brush. This is also a Laura Lee Los Angeles brush, and I love Laura's brushes. They're so bomb. This is the L14, and I'm just gonna go on in first and start bronzing underneath the chin. This also smells like bananas and coconuts and everything summery vibes. I love it. Whenever I'm using like a serum foundation, tinted moisturizer, whatever it may be, a moisturizer that's supposed to be a little bit more on the dewy side, rather than going and stroking back and forth, because that can actually lead to removing some of the product, I tend to do this thing where I just like tap and lift up. But look at how nicely it just kind of is blending into the skin. So ever since Madison Beer dropped her makeup routine, I feel like we can't find any Charlotte Tilbury products anywhere. I know she uses the Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm Beauty Highlighter Blush. That is apparently what everybody's going crazy for these days. And bitch, I found us a dupe. Are you ready? Because I'm really excited about this dupe. I'm actually going to mention 2 dupes for this because if you're ever out and about and you want to try a cream blush and that's similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one, and let's say they're out of one but the other one's available. So the 2 that I would recommend are the Maybelline Cheek Heat cream blush. This is like a gel. And then this one, which we're going to be using today, is a Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint. Is a blush mousse from NYX. First of all, the shade I have is Baby Doll. I'm going to apply it first by putting it on the back of my hand. You guys know this is also my technique that I love to do with the Rare Beauty blushes. And I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to start stamping it onto the skin. I find that applying cream products with a sponge are way better than just going with it straight on your face. But look at how nice this looks. I've been holding on to some of these dupes for so long because I've been like, you know, trying to get a list together of products I actually like. And I'm so excited to finally share what I like and talk about it with you guys. Moving on to eyes, I found a really good dupe for the Haus Labs Glam Attacks. This is the e.l.f. makeup one. This is the Flirty Birdie, and this is part of their like eye shimmery collection. I don't really know the exact name of it. There's nothing on the packaging. Even though Haus Labs prices aren't like insane, this still is definitely way more affordable. So what I'm gonna do is just like swipe it on, and what I like to do is use my finger to just diffuse it. I'll even bring it up onto the brow bone, just everywhere. I think it looks really pretty when it's distributed like that. And you can obviously build it and layer it up for more pigment or more intensity. I really just like using this with my finger and even getting it all the way up to the brow bone. They also have other colors. Like I have this one here just sitting on my desk. It's like a very gold one. I think they have like a purple, a silver. I honestly wish they would make more colors because I think it's so good. I've always loved these. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I used to be obsessed with the NARS Climax mascara, and I actually found a decent dupe for it a little while back, but I still personally favor the Maybelline Sky High mascara, but rather than just being insanely predictable, I figured I would pick a different mascara. This is the Maybelline Rocket Volume Express. It is literally a huge dupe for the NARS, but this is a really great mascara. However, it is a very big wand, so keep that in mind. Like if you have smaller eyelids, smaller lashes in general, like I don't know how well this will work for you. My favorite is still the Sky High for sure. I like to give you guys different options. That way it's not too predictable. So I just lined my lips with a little ColourPop lip liner, but I also know Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks are really trending and popping right now, especially the one called Pillow Talk. So I have a little dupe for that. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Ink Crayon. Where's the shade? Trust Your Gut. Honestly, if you had them side by side, they look almost identical. So I'm just gonna go on in and I'm gonna blend with the darker lip liner, but I've really been enjoying a darker lip liner. And I wanted to throw this in as a dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bomb. If there's any gloss girls and guys out there, this is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I'm only gonna put a little bit on because I kind of like the little vibe we have going on here with the other Maybelline lippy. But this is in the shade Moon, and I think that this is like an almost identical match for the Gloss Bomb in Fussy. So I'm just gonna add a little bit to the center, and that's it. And let's finish off with one of my, oh my god, one of my favorite drugstore setting sprays. Hang on, I just picked up a little restock on it. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist. So you wanna shake it and a light little spritz everywhere. So we are all zoomed out, and I am really obsessed with the way this look came out. Everything mentioned here today, I think, is an amazing dupe for products. I think we were able to create such a really pretty, flawless summertime, springtime look without having to break the bank. I really hope that you guys found this video a little educational. I hope you learned some new dupes. Definitely leave me a comment down below what your favorite dupes are, because I love to hear everybody's dupes and what they're vibing with, what they're liking. So thank you guys so much for watching. And also just to keep in mind, like I have very dry skin, so the complexion products products I used are definitely geared a little bit more towards dry skin. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.